end of the year, beginning of the year is really when people kind of think about their taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The middle of the year is not a bad time either.
Not a bad time, right? Mhm.
Let's talk about how people can kind of proactively plan ahead for their taxes before
Yeah.
they're scrambling.
There's a lot going on in the middle of the year. Think about it. So maybe we're all getting our taxes done late April, middle April. And so it's April, May. We've gotten all of last year's information. We have a good picture of what happened last year, which gives us a good idea of what's going to happen this year. So, that's a great starting point. And so now we're just going forward and starting to gather information. So think about what you needed and had for your taxes, and maybe just do a mid-year check-in. These were the things I was looking for at the end of the year, and I was going back 12 months. What if I just make sure I'm all squared away for the first 6 months, so then come December I'm only looking for 6 months information? That's one thing. The other thing is that you have half of a year of information, so you know how this year may look different than last year, because maybe you had big gains last year and there maybe don't appear to be the case this year, or maybe there's some losses that you can take right now. And so tax loss harvesting is when you have losses in an account and you can sell positions, realize the losses so they go on your tax return, and that helps you tax wise. But there's ways to do that and still basically remain invested in the same strategy. Well, guess what? A lot of that gets done at the end of the year. A lot of that is, let's look at what losses we can take and help you with your taxes in November. Well, maybe the first half of the year isn't going so well, and there's some losses that could be realized now. But if you come back and do it in November, those tax losses for tax purposes have been gained out. So, it's a good idea to do that. You can be doing that. I think if you're a small business owner, it's a good idea to gather everything. If you do QuickBooks or what have you, and if you work with an accountant, it's not a bad idea to send them, here's where I am in the middle of the year. How different do I look from last year? And then you can kind of say, well, if the second half is like the first half, or the first, one half and another quarter of a year or so are going to be indicative, kind of plan ahead. That's what you're doing right now. And what's nice about it is you're not doing your tax return. You're just gathering information. So you don't have to get granular and really wrapped up in it. You just have a little bit of, things like that you need to do. If you like what you heard and you need help writing your goals down and being accountable for them, go to gootfinancial.com, contact us, and set up a time to start a conversation, and we'll get you on your way.